What's up everybody, it's CJ Plays here, and I'm back with another Plesantville renovation. So the house that we're going to be furnishing today, I think I'm just going to call this one the Bro House, because I don't really know what this sim does, right? Like, I feel like he's a tech bro, but I also feel like he's a finance bro. I don't really know, so I'm just gonna call him a bro. Like, he's very into like investing and trading and starting businesses and checking out technology. So like, I don't really know what he does, but he's a bro, okay? I don't know if I set this in the original world overview that I done for this world or not, but when I first saw this house, it was kind of giving me like tech bro vibes or like finance bro kind of vibes. I could just imagine like a bachelor living here by themselves, or maybe like with a dog or something, and like he just, you know, he's just here by himself, working, trading, doing his thing. And that's kind of like the vibe I first got from this house. So I knew that when I finally got around to doing the furnishing for a video that I had to make the house like this. So that's basically what we're doing today. So I'm kind of starting off in the kitchen. This is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom home, by the way. So it's not really that big. Like, the upstairs portion, honestly, is just like a walkthrough area to like the rooftop. So the house isn't really that big, you know, but I will say, y'all, that I love the way this house turned out. So we're starting off in the kitchen. So I knew I wanted this to kind of be like more modern, a little bit sleek. So I went with these modern looking countertops and cabinets from the base game. I think these are like some of the most expensive ones in the game. I never really use these ever. Like, I kind of forget these are even base game counters, like legit. But I knew I wanted to use those this time because, you know, they're modern looking, you know. This is like something I feel like his kitchen would have. So like the color scheme I went with for the kitchen is more of a, like a brown and like natural wood tone. I used the fridge from, it's like from one of the modern sets from the Sims 3 store. I think it's like the ultra modern set, the ultra modern kitchen. I believe that's probably what it's called. So I use the stove and the fridge from that set, and then of course I paired everything up with the base game. So this house doesn't have a table because, you know, it's not really that big. So I decided to give the sim an island counter to sit at. So I'm using the bar stool from the late night pack. I forgot where that sink comes from. I think the sink is from the outdoor living stuff pack. I used a coffee machine from the ultra modern kitchen set, and then I used like a food processor from the base game. I was trying to figure out what else to do. Like, I didn't really know at first how I wanted things to look in the house. So I was like, maybe if I start off in one of the corners, I can kind of work to a different corner and kind of figure it out. So this is kind of like where the room starts to take its shape. So I went with the green color scheme for this house. So I don't know, I wanted something kind of like modern, but also I wanted some color. So I was like, maybe like a more muted green-ish color would be nice for it. So it's like a lot of browns, green, like some other little colors here and there, but I really love the color scheme for this house, y'all. Around this time, I'm trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So you'll see I'm using these glass archways. I didn't really realize how small this house was until around this time. So the idea was to have like one of the archways lead to an office space, and I was like, maybe one of the other archways could lead into like, I don't know, a bedroom or something. But then I realized that where would the bathroom go? So I got rid of one of the archways and I made one of them into a bathroom. I still kept this archway right here that leads into this really big sunroom. So I was like really trying to just figure out where things could go. I literally had to like make the room a little bit bigger just to kind of fit everything. But this is around the time when I was really trying to make this house seem like a bachelor pad. So as you can see, I'm like putting some plants. I didn't really want to like decorate the house too much, you know, because I feel like he's not really into like, you know, decor. He just, you know, he has some taste, but it's not like a really like nice cluttered house. It's more so one of those things where it's like he just has some stuff that he thinks looks cool, you know. So we have like out, for example, I was gonna put that record rug in the kitchen, but I was like, maybe that's a little bit too much for the kitchen. So I moved it over here to the other corner. And as you can see, we have comic books. I have like some sports memorabilia hanging up. Around this time, I was trying to figure out what couch I wanted to use. And then I was reminded of this sectional from the late night pack. And I was like, oh, CJ, you have got to use the sectional. So basically what I did was I used a sectional, but I didn't like connect it into an L shape. So I basically took two couches and kind of put them together to kind of make like two love seats. Hopefully you can kind of see what I'm talking about. It took me a while. I had to like literally move them off one by one because they love to snap, which, you know, there is a sectional, it makes sense, but they love to snap to each other. So I tried my best to like not get them too close. I just kind of wanted to have like a really nice living room area off to the corner, you know? So I also ended up using the TV from the high-end loft stuff, which I barely ever use anything from that stuff pack. Like, honestly, I don't dislike the stuff pack, but it's just one of my least favorite ones. I felt like a lot of the stuff just looks I don't know, it's nice, but it's also modern. I don't really ever do modern homes anyway, so I just don't really use objects from that pack all too much. Fun fact, that I think that was the first stuff pack for The Sims 3, so yeah, I just never really use anything from it, but I thought the TV would be really nice. I was honestly trying to find a narrow TV anyway, and I didn't really want to use the one from the base game, so this one kind of worked out perfectly. Around this time, I was trying to figure out what to do with this coffee table. I liked the glass window, like the little glass section of it, but I was like, this is just, I don't know. The vibe was off, so I didn't use it. I ended up using the coffee table from the late night pack, and I also paired it up with the lamp from the late night pack, and I was like, oh man, that looks so nice. And then around this time, I'm using some of these bamboo plants from the Sims 3 store. I think it's maybe from the ultra modern set. I really love those bamboo plants, so I try to use them like whenever I can, you know? So I noticed that this room has like a bump out outside of the house, and I guess it was supposed to be like for a fireplace. So I was like, why don't we just put a fireplace in the house? So I'm using the one from the Into the Future pack, and I was like, oh, this looks amazing, and it looks very modern, like something that he would have, like the Sim that lives here. So I was like, we definitely have to use it. And then I'm also using these blinds. These are from the Sims 3 store. I think they're also from the ultra modern set, I think. I can't remember, but I know it comes from the store. And I was like, oh, we have got to use those over here. And then as you can see, I went back and I put some like brick design on one of the walls to have like a little accent wall. And y'all, I love how this living room turned out. Like, I just love the color scheme. To me, it's like very relaxing, you know? It's like a earthy kind of color, and I just love it. So we had like this really weird section over here, like this empty space. So I ended up using the bar from the Fast Lane stuff pack. So I was like, maybe we could use some bar stools from late night to kind of just have something in the corner. So we have a bar. I'm also replacing the lights. So I used a combination of late night lights and the light from, I think, the diesel stuff pack, or maybe the high-end loft stuff. I can't really remember, but the idea was obviously, you know, modern bachelor pad. Like, I did a bachelor pad build not that long ago. Some of you may remember the house that I built for my Plum Legacy heir. His name was Plumbert Bob. His house was kind of like a bachelor pad, but that house was more like a wacky early 2000s like Don Lothario Sims 2 inspired bachelor pad, but this time I wanted something kind of like more modern and up to date, you know. Now we're moving on to the bathroom. So as for this bathroom, I knew that I wanted to use this angled tub, but then I was like, oh wait, this bathroom is not big enough, and I didn't really want to make like another room smaller or make the room bigger, so I settled for the shower from the Seasons pack. I'm using the sink from, I believe it's the ultra modern set from the Sims 3 store. I paired it up with the mirror. I think the mirror is from diesel stuff, I think, or high-end loft. It's from one of those packs. Sometimes I can't remember everything. And then I also use the toilet, which I think comes from the high-end loft stuff. Maybe not. I can't remember. Like, I'm telling you, packs that I don't really use, sometimes I kind of don't remember like where like the objects come from, you know. But then I also wanted to recolor the wallpaper, so I kind of went with some more like brick. And then I'm using these blinds. I cannot remember where these blinds come from, y'all. It's from the store, but I love using these like paneled blinds, so I used those like basically in the bathroom. I used them in the sunroom, and now we're going on to the bedroom. So I made the wall in here a little bit bigger because I was like, you know, while the Sim in my brain is just a single Sim, you know, and I don't really think he's worried about having a family or a relationship. I think he's kind of just stacking his money. I was like, maybe if one of y'all play here and maybe you have a different Sim in mind, maybe you might need that extra like space for another Sim to sleep in here. So I wanted to like make the room a little bit bigger so you could fit 2 Sims in here if you needed to. This is just a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom home, but you know, I'm pretty sure if you need to make space somewhere, you can, you know. I decided to make this room a little bit bigger. I'm using the bed. It's from the Sims 3 store. I used the matching nightstand as well that goes with it, and then I was trying to figure out like what else I could put in here because the room isn't that big, as you can see. So I was like, maybe, you know, I could put a dresser. So I think I used the one, I forgot what set. Maybe it's like one of the teen sets, the Crash Loud set or something like that. It's more like an industrial looking dresser, so I used that in here, and of course I recolored it so it can kind of blend in a little bit more. I used one of the modern looking mirrors from the base game. It's like one of the standing ones. I put that over there in the corner by the bed, and then I used a base game rug, and then I used a lamp. I believe it comes from the Seasons pack, and I never used that lamp really, and it looked so good in this room. Like I said earlier, the color scheme is very like green, like browns, very just like, to me, relaxing colors to look at. So the lamp honestly worked really nicely in here. Like, that looks super cool. Moving on over here though, this is our like home office. It's like a sunroom. I low-key feel like it gets really hot in here in the summertime because like it's basically just a glass box, but I wanted to have this be like the office because I can imagine that he's mainly in here more than he's like in any other room of the house, you know? So I feel like he's here like from sunup to sundown, you know, trying to figure out how to make that money. I feel like he's one of those kind of people, I don't know if you've ever seen it, where like they just post like a lot of like grinding and like work related memes and stuff, like you got to spend every second thinking about your next move. Like I feel like he's that kind of person. Or like I kind of also feel like too, the sim that lives here is one of those people where it's like if you get them started talking about their interest, they're not gonna stop, and it will like get to the point where it'll be kind of annoying, or you kind of avoid the person. And I kind of feel like that's the sim, like do not talk to him about like finance because he's not gonna stop. So I kind of feel like he's mainly in here. I feel like he probably works from home, so I feel like he's probably in here doing like video sessions, and like he's in chat rooms with like other people that are invested in investing and stuff like that, you know? So I kind of feel like that's where he mainly hangs out. So I wanted this to kind of be really nice, so I'm using bamboo plants and like really fancy lamps and a nice bookshelf. And then last but not least, we are upstairs. So for the upstairs portion, there's not much that we can actually do. I spent a lot of the time trying to figure out what kind of railing to use. So I used the one from Into the Future. I knew that I wanted to use that fast lane like rack. It has like car stuff, like goggles and like cars and stuff, so I knew I wanted to use that in here somewhere. And then I also wanted to put like some artwork up in here as well. So this house doesn't really have that much art, but I did like put like a movie poster upstairs, a big rug from the Into the Future pack, and then I was trying to like use these blinds. I have got to playtest this to make sure this works. I feel like a sim should be able to get upstairs, but I don't know if your sim can, so I need to playtest that to see. So if you download this house and the blinds are not there, you know why. And then I also wanted to put some bookshelves just to kind of fill in some space, so I'm using the ones from the high-end loft stuff, and that's pretty much like everything for the room. To me, this room is more like a walkthrough space, you know, but that's pretty much it for this. And then the only other thing I do for this house is I put a couple of lounge chairs outside just to kind of have something here. I didn't really want to put too much because I feel like when you look outside the house, it doesn't look that nice, but I was like, we have this really nice balcony area, so let's just put some lounge chairs out here. I did go back and put some lights, like outdoor lights, just to have some lights out here. But in all, that's pretty much it, y'all, for the entire build. So if you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below. I am going to leave this house link down below as well if you want to download it. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this one, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye! Thanks for watching!